We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies. Welcome back. We're the Deal Junkies. We're here in the studio today with Alex Ferry, and we're going to talk deals.
No more insurance talk.
Thanks for being
real estate only.
Thanks for being
how did
in
you
the studio.
insure that last deal you just did?
All right.
Talk about the deals.
Let's talk about deals.
Let's go.
Always
Let's do it.
to prep you at all, but do you have any great deals you want to talk about or bad deals?
Talk about good deals you want to do so we can steal them from you.
No.
That's not how you win.
Partner, maybe, but
Oh, okay. Talk about deals.
yeah. All right. Where do you want me to start?
what's your-
What
Do you have
first?
a favorite deal or a creative deal you've done? You did that one.
I have
seller
both.
carry one.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us. Okay.
Well, what do you want to hear? Which one?
Your favorite deal first.
Favorite deal was probably just my first one, just because it showed me that you can make money in real estate. And so
All right, that
it
was not exciting. Skip that
Hey,
one.
that one's boring.
Oh,
Hey,
whoa.
that one's boring. Let's go on to the next one.
Whoa.
Okay, great. Sentimental. He's got a
All
sentimental
right,
one.
you
That's
house
awesome.
hacked it. You put 5% down. You lived in it for a bit. You turned it to a rental.
Yeah,
and it was
let's hear
awesome.
about it. I want to hear
Yeah.
about it. Let's
Yeah.
hear about it.
We already talked about this. Okay, go ahead.
Relational game. I want to hear about it. Your lamest deal ever.
Talk about what excites you.
whoa. That's my most profitable deal, actually. My
It's your-
biggest
That's how real
cash
estate
flow.
works, dude. You just
Yeah,
hold
it's
it. It's your
great.
first. You've owned it the longest.
Yep.
Yeah, very true.
We should
Yeah.
probably talk about it just to know the value of time.
Okay.
All right.
This is a great example. You're right, Alex. Let's hear it.
This will be good for your beginner listeners. Anyone can do this, right, Trevor?
Okay. Let's tell them how.
You were how old when
Can we
this deal
just do
happened?
it quickly?
24,
You were
25.
24 years old.
Yep.
You read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everybody told you don't go buy real estate.
Yep.
And so you went and found a deal.
Yep.
How'd you find this deal?
Just looked on the market, looked for duplexes. It was before the financing was available for 1 to 4 units, so it was only 1 to 2 that you could do the lower down payment, and so that's why we settled with a duplex.
You bought a duplex. And it sounds like it was 2 houses on one lot.
Yep, 2 homes on a lot. Mortgage was around $2,000 for both of them. Rent from one of the homes started out at like $1,100 a month.
Is this deal in Salem?
Mm-hmm. Yep, over by Broadway Coffee.
Oh.
Oh,
Was it
Richmond.
was it in bad shape?
So it was someone flipped it, and so it was in good shape when I got to it. It's just old. It's over 100 years old.
Was it easier to sell your wife on the idea of living in a duplex because it was 2 houses and not a shared wall?
Yes, that was one of the conditions. Was like, okay, she has to be on board with the comfort side of it. So like we put an extra fence up, made it feel more private, but yeah, still.
How
a
much
duplex.
do you listen to her now in her conditions?
Well, we don't move into them anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So she
It's
doesn't
a little
put conditions
different.
on.
No.
But she does get involved in your purchases. Like
Yes.
you show them to her. You
Yep.
guys work through the numbers together, that sort of thing.
I wouldn't say the numbers. I show them to her and say why I am excited about it.
Well, it's probably good to get her perspective on things because you're mathematical. You're doing computations in your brain, and you might miss something that you didn't see. Like,
does someone want to live here?
Yes.
well,
yeah.
like, honey, did you see like the meth lab next door, or
I think I would take that into calculation, but
Oh,
yeah.
you would calculate that
I
one?
think I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
$25 less in rent.
No, maybe not.
Spreadsheets hide a lot of stuff.
Women do see things differently, though.
Yes. Yeah. So like we always do drive by. All the stuff I own is local, and so I'll always drive by with her and just be like, "What do you think?"
What do you think of this
Yeah.
one? I try to do that with my wife too, and she's like, "Yeah, I think we need to get out of here because I have to go grocery shopping." But honey, this is our building. I bought this building. She's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Move
that she
on.
wants to be involved in your performance.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 24 years old.
Mhm.
You go off to find your first deal. Did you have friends that were buying real estate?
At the time, no.
Did you have friends?
No.
Did you know Trevor?
No, I didn't know Alex.
No.
I met Alex like 2 years ago.
Really?
3, maybe
Something
2.5.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Right before the meetup.
Okay, so how scary was it going to do a deal? You bought this deal without partners, by yourself, you and your wife. You're 24 years old.
Yep.
Like, was there any part of it where you're like going like you're puckering a little bit, like, is this the right idea, the wrong idea? How can I get how is this going to take me down? How am I going to lose everything because of this deal?
Yep. No, it was all of that. I mean, it was our previous house, filling it with a tenant, and then the new place, filling that one with a tenant, because I did it all on my own. And so I'm like, okay, are these tenants going to take care of the place? Did I just place a bad tenant? What am I going to learn from this? Did I just waste, because it was probably $25,000 down on the new place. Did I just waste this money? Will I get it back? Will I see it?
So you already owned a home. You knew home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to move from your home into a duplex.
Yep.
And so you're going to become a landlord at the same time that you're buying this first investment property.
Yep.
So now you move in to one unit. Now you got two tenants.
Yes.
One in the new property, one in the old property.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How'd you learn how to like screen tenants and advertise for vacancy?
Google. I just looked up, what do people do? How do you place a tenant? And so I actually started by using Facebook. And so back when they allowed you to list rentals. And so not many people were marketing on it. So I had a lot of success placing people from Facebook back in the day.
Were you able to run people's credit? Did you hire a screening company?
Yeah. So I had people message me through that, and then I would screen them through it was a difference, like Rent Spree or something like that.
Oh, you had a website service or something that runs their credit, criminal.
Yeah, and so I would, like, my process is they apply, they pay for it. I don't do any of that. So then if they're actually interested, they'll do it on their own. And then I get the email with the application, look it over, and then talk next steps.
So how do you stop? Is there a queue of people that you screen first? What happens if you get 5 people that want the unit all at once? Do you have like a waiting list, or how do you stop from running 5 people's credit?
It usually doesn't happen like that. At least in my experience, it's usually kind of one person at a time.
And then you just turn it off?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if they get denied, then you put it back on?
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'll leave it open and listed, but I don't send people the link for an application.
Oh, I see.
Until one person said, like,
they don't actually get to apply until you send them the link. So
yeah.
you can. That's your process.
Correct.
You gate it manually. Okay. All right.
Yep.
This is boring property manager stuff.
Yeah, boring.
But you didn't let that get in the way of buying property. Did you figure it out afterwards, or did you make that like, how much did you feel like you needed to know before you started doing it?
Not much. I felt I needed to know the numbers. I mostly just knew how much could I rent this for minimum, and what's the monthly payment going to be.
And then you figure everything else out on the way. That's how it should be done.
Did you understand the other expenses like maintenance? And
I factored all that in, so I did 5-10% there, 5-10% for vacancy.
Where'd you learn those numbers from?
People's spreadsheets online. There's so many free calculators
like,
out
here's
there.
how to underwrite a deal.
Yeah.
Here's a calculator to underwrite your deal.
I just looked it up, how to underwrite a deal, how to evaluate rental cash flow.
How close are your actual performance to the budgets that you originally created?
Well, I was very conservative with everything to start, because I was like, I'd rather be lowballing everything. So my rents were really low, expenses were really high, and so now, like, both those first properties perform better than I would have ever calculated out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it turned out.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, great.
So you're passing up on deals you should have been buying.
That's exactly too conservative.
There you go. Probably.
He could be.
You're not wrong.
Now.
When you start out, you have to be conservative.
Well, the crazy part is you could have bought any deal 7 years ago and it didn't really matter that much.
No. Yeah.
You can buy any deal right now,
And it won't matter in 7 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll matter a little
Okay,
bit
not
more.
any deal,
It'll matter a little
but
more than that.
Almost any deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say almost any deal.
All right, what's your favorite deal? So that was your sentimental one.
He said that was his favorite.
Let's get past.
It was
the
my
training
favorite
days.
just because it got me into real
Let's
estate.
get past.
And you're making
the
money
training
on that thing. How much does it cash flow for you?
Right now, it's cash flowing $1,800 a month.
And you got like
Those two.
200 grand sitting in there probably.
400 or 500.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
and you put what into it? How much down?
25.
You put 25 grand in.
Yeah.
Have you had to put a bunch of money in since you owned it?
I put in a fence, so maybe $2,000.
But you put in the fence
But
for
you
your
cash
own
flow.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was for myself. Yeah.
So you put in
Yeah,
25 grand. You built a fence for yourself. You've owned it for 7 years.
2019. Yep.
6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have $500,000 in equity, and you're cash flowing $1,800.
Yeah.
So you make all your initial investment back every single year, basically, and you turn 25 grand into $500,000.
And why don't you want to buy more of these?
No, I do. I
He
never
did,
said
he did
no.
buy more.
But how
Yeah, I
long-
did.
Why haven't you bought more?
Why don't you own all the houses? What the hell?
How long do you have to live next to a meth lab for?
Who cares?
You
Maybe
have
he has
to,
half a mil.
Yeah, you have to intend to live there for 12 months.
Oh, this guy cheated.
That's not cheating.
No, he didn't.
I did intend to live there.
Yeah, no.
Then he found out there was a meth lab next door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you
there
can't
is
have kids
a
next-
halfway house right
Oh.
next door, but the neighbor, he actually would shoot off his gun in our back alley if a homeless person walked through. So we
that's
heard
good
gunshots multiple
It was
times,
safe.
and I would go
Gunshots
out
are all
there.
relative.
Oh, it was great.
All relative.
And he was just sitting there with his gun, and I'm like, "Oh, hey neighbor."
Would the
And he's
cops
like,
come out?
No, never. He was like, "Oh, I just do this every once in a while, scare the homeless people off." So
Don't those bullets come back down really
yeah,
fast?
somewhere.
No, gravity's not.
Well, no, yeah, it's not gonna kill you, but
Gravity's not real.
it's like a falling acorn from a tree, Trevor.
Okay, so would you say for people listening,
know
like
that
they
that's
can,
true.
they
It'll
can
kill
do,
you.
They
Yeah.
can do the same as what you did right there if they just started today and you
Mhm.
just look out 7 years. But you didn't know at that time you were buying that you would have that today. You weren't thinking that far out.
No, I always calculate at least when we live in it, I'm like, okay, would rents right now cover
now.
the mortgage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the next deal that you really liked or you was creative or cool story?
So we've done that multiple times where we've moved into a house as long as it cash flows. So we moved into a place out of that one and redid floors and paint, and then same thing, rented that one out. But during that time, that's where I found the creative deal, and so I think that's when you and I started hanging out more and talking about, sellers can finance things. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just call all the for sale by owner properties. And so every day on the way home, I would go through the list and just call through all for sale by owner in my drive and commute. And then eventually one of them picked up and was like, oh, yeah, I actually want to finance this. And I was like, oh, cool. And so we went and hung out and talked, and he wanted like $50,000 down. And I was like, oh, that's probably a little bit out of my price range. And so we talked terms and eventually got him down to $30,000 down and a single family home. And amortization was 20 years at like I think it's 5.5% rate or something like that. And so I knew that one was not going to cash flow, but I also knew I'd refinance eventually.
Is there any prepayment penalty on it?
Nope. 0. That was the big thing, was there's no balloon period, so I can keep it amortized 20 years if I really want to. And there was no prepayment penalty.
So it's paying down fast.
Very fast. Yeah. Like there's more equity in there right now, but
And you felt like you bought it at a good price too, or you
yeah,
got
no,
value
I mean,
to
we
it?
talked price down a little bit. And so I think I got it undervalued, maybe 20, 30,000, just because he wasn't using a realtor and neither was I.
And this
so-
guy owned a lot of shitholes.
Yes. Yeah. He did not take care of his places. And so when we bought it, I knew there'd be some expenses that would come up. Right now, I have not put any money into it.
Oh wow! So you
I know.
still own a shithole.
Have you bought any?
It's nice.
I've watched
bad.
some of these properties that he owned.
This one was not as bad as
Okay.
those apartments that you were looking at. But yes, the siding eventually and roof in the next 5-10 years
Okay.
will need to be done.
Have you
but
bought any more from him?
No, he's actually passed away.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
sucks.
yeah. So no more.
What was that process like, buying it directly from the owner? Cold calling him, doing. Talk about that.
It was fun. It was interesting not using a realtor. So I think I sent over like the agreement to Trevor to make sure it looked legitimate and that I wasn't just like putting myself in a bad spot. And he had a form, he had attorneys draft everything up already because he had done it before. And so I didn't have to like recreate the wheel or anything. I just read through it.
He just uses the one-page PSA, like simple.
Yeah, it was very short and sweet. That's when I learned that the offer letters don't really matter too much because title's the one that is putting it all together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are there hundreds of pages that you sign and
Nar.
then title's the one that does it all? I was like,
This is why Trevor
Realtor
and I
sucks.
butt heads, because I say none of these things matter. He's like, no, you need to know this and this. And, well,
No, I don't think any of that matters, dude. Write it
like
on,
that one
write it on a
page, I was
napkin.
like,
I'm just saying
why?
details. You're talking about the details of these details, but I'm just saying details at a macro level of higher just don't matter.
No, for those people, listen, you can literally grab a napkin. You guys can write out what you want to do on that napkin, and you can take that to escrow if you both sign it, and you can close a deal on a napkin. Didn't you do that once?
No.
No? Someone, I can't remember who did that. It was telling me, but you can literally do that.
Theoretically, yes.
You can. Why not?
You can.
I mean, ours was essentially that. Like, he had a printed, it was scanned in, poorly written out, and we went to his bar and signed it. It was like, oh, well, that's all.
What you might not get is title insurance and stuff. I mean, like I don't know. You should probably just
No, you should probably just write it on a napkin. That's what.
Just get a fucking signature and give it to title. Let them tell you
They'll-
what else you need.
They'll give you the right form.
Yeah.
They'll help you fill out the paperwork if they need to. So have you thought about, since your seller died, have you thought about potentially going back to the heirs and seeing if you could negotiate a lower payoff because they might want the cash and he didn't?
So the heirs, it was hard because no one knew where the estate went to. 'Cause
They don't know who
That's
gets
worked
the
out
money?
now, though.
Yes,
Probably.
it's worked out now because I got the tax statement for last year from escrow, and it shows who's on it. So now, yes, I'll look them up and.
Oh, I can give
see
you
it.
their contact, but you bought it on a land sales contract, correct? Also,
Yeah, correct.
So he stayed on title. Did that mess it up at all for you or not? It didn't really. You clouded title, so you were good there. Yeah, you could go talk to them and probably, if they want money now, you could be like 100,000 off. I don't know.
Yeah, most of the time
Yeah.
when somebody dies, the heirs want cash. And so they're not looking to get a little payment every month for the
Yeah.
next 20 years. You might be able to go refinance that thing now, get a 30-year AM,
Yeah.
and negotiate your payoff 25% lower or something. I don't know. I mean, just think.
Depending on their goal, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could restructure. Maybe they want payments for long.
Sounds like you know their goal.
No, I don't really, but
Have you talked to them already?
I just really
About
want
their other
apartment
properties?
complexes.
We tried to buy their other property.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they said no.
I think we'll get to buy it at some point, but they had to work through all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's all settled. At least that's the escrow statement shows like who's the trustee and everything. So
that was the first creative deal you had done. Was there anything different about that deal where you felt like you needed to ask for legal advice, or we were comfortable to go with what the seller provided?
yeah, I mean, I still had like Trevor look over it. I had another real estate agent look over it just because I was like, hey, I don't even know what I'm looking at, and I don't want to read through all of this. And so had some input from a few other people, but yeah.
Because people going out doing deals without brokers and attorneys can sometimes get themselves into messes.
You want to hear a story of one who did that?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so we helped a client buy this duplex from someone, but I learned more about the seller situation on the front end, and it was just so they had a realtor help them actually, but they put them in a 1-year seller carry contract.
The realtor.
The realtor put their buyer in a 1-year contract with a balloon date. They had no way to get out of the deal.
No extensions.
And they put $100,000 down or whatever.
God.
No way to refi, no extensions, no way to qualify. They paid just normal price, so they couldn't sell it.
And then couldn't get a loan to pay
And
it
then
off.
couldn't get a loan to pay it off at the end and was stuck. I was like, why did they
So then the seller kept their $100,000, took their building back?
No, so we came in and bought it, but they lost some money, right? Because no one would buy the deal, and they're like, okay, I'm going to lose half, all of my $100,000 or half at this point. And they just had a realtor put them in a 1-year balloon on seller contract with no exit plan at all, which is insane. How is that? She would have been better off not having a realtor on the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're out doing deals, seller carry, it's one of the things is you're not going to have an appraisal, so you might grossly overpay for a property. You're not going to if you don't have an attorney, you're going off of docs that somebody's come up with, or you might Google them or do whatever, but you might not have the protections that you would have. So seller, technically, if they're doing a seller carry, they become the lender. It's their responsibility to draft loan docs. It's really their attorney should draft docs. But I would always recommend you get an attorney involved when you're dealing with documents like that. Unless it's something that came out of title or it's something that you've used before in the past. Creative structures are fun, but you can't. I mean, it's a little bit of the Wild West. You can get yourself in a position like that where you get totally screwed.
Yeah, which you feel so bad because she was making a good decision with all this money she had theoretically, and then someone just gave her insanely
Yeah,
terrible.
wasn't she like 20 years old or something, making $1 million a month on OnlyFans? I don't know. It's like, people like that are just not going to make smart decisions, unfortunately. What? Is that funny?
I've seen really smart people just put faith in the wrong people and then make a bad decision because they didn't know any better. Like, what is a 1-year balloon? My rule of thumb is I don't take advice from someone getting paid out of the deal.
Yeah.
If they're getting paid out of the deal, they are not someone to get advice.
Pay somebody that's responsible to protect.
I get paid
you.
out of every deal, and I give
I don't
advice.
fucking listen to you.
we don't give legal advice as brokers, though. We stay in our own lane. We're supposed to get an attorney involved. Okay.
Yeah.
So you own 11 doors. How many buildings is this total in your portfolio?
10.
And so only one duplex and everything is a house.
The commercial space is 2 combined.
Why did you buy a commercial building?
For the office.
For you?
Yep.
You bought that seller carry too, didn't you?
Hack.
Not seller carry. He didn't want to finance it, but SBA. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about SBA loan so people know, because it's a sweet. If you own businesses, you can start picking up investment real estate with this stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah. So SBA just basically allows you to come into it with lower down. So I came into it just 10% down.
And you can get in with an SBA loan as low as 5% down by mixing it with seller carry too, I believe.
Correct.
And they'll finance any new equipment, fixtures, furniture you need for the building when you buy it.
So you can go buy commercial buildings that you can house hack essentially a commercial building. You have to use like what 50% of it or something to start. But and you can do
51%.
51%. And you can keep on using this. So you could theoretically just move your office the next year, turn that first one to a rental, right? And then just keep on repeating.
But with SBA, I think you can only have
one.
open
It's like
at
it's
a
like an
time.
FHA.
You have to refi.
You can only
out
have
of
one
it.
SBA loan?
One at a time.
Yeah. For that business, at least. You could go start a new business, I guess.
What were the requirements on the business to qualify for SBA? Like, did you have to provide? You have to be profitable. Provide.
Yeah, I mean, I
3 years.
submitted all bank statements.
A lot of people think like I'm going to start a new business. I'll go get SBA, but it doesn't qualify. You have to have trailing data for them to go on to show that you're a profitable business. And SBA is basically a hybrid between a bank loan and then a government subsidized loan. So part of that loan is insured. It's like 35% of that, 90% or something is backed by SBA, which is the government insured side of the loan. Similar to how FHA works, the government's not giving you a loan. They're just ensuring that in the event that you foreclose, that they've got an insurance policy in place to protect the bank.
Yeah.
To help first time home buyers and low income home buyers and stuff. So you bought it, you occupy 51%.
I mean, I occupy 100%.
Oh, now it's just your
our
building.
office. Yeah,
Good.
we've just grown. Yeah.
Was that a good play for you? You're happy to own that building?
Yeah, I mean, my mortgage payment is lower than what I'd pay in rent, and so.
Does your company pay you rent?
Yep.
For what the rent should be?
So
that
yeah,
it cash
I mean,
flows,
market
or do you
rent.
just or do you just
No,
break
yeah,
it
it
up?
cash flows.
You cash flow on yourself,
Yes,
on your
yeah.
business.
Yes,
That's
correct.
cool.
What's the square footage of it? What's it like?
Oh, it's
Buy it
like
for?
1,800 square feet. I think we bought it for $360. So it wasn't super expensive.
Oh, that's pretty good price per square foot wise for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a condo unit owners association. So like
Interesting.
you own those units, but there's still an association that you pay fees to maintain the external side of the building.
So this is like an office complex, and you have like a little space in it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
You should have bought a bigger building with this SBA loan.
I can do that down the road.
You should buy like a $2 million.
You can buy businesses with SBA.
Oh yeah,
You can buy the
Yeah.
actual business.
with the same thing, 5 to 10% down.
And it doesn't have to have a building involved, I don't think. Like you can actually just buy the business.
Are there books of business out there in the insurance world you can buy?
Not with the company I'm with. So like we don't own our book of business.
That's lame.
It's different. Yeah. So like
Can't
brokers.
sell State Farm on.
Yeah. So like no broker can sell State Farm. Only an agent can.
So can we go buy books of business where they own the real estate and then like have you do some stuff with it?
If you have a broker agency, yeah. Yes. So like I have friends that have bought books of business with insurance, but typically the agents selling them overprice them, and so it's hard to determine and decipher like, okay, how many of these people will stay with me when I buy this book of business versus just leave.
Just need to do a better job of negotiating it.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Let's go ahead and negotiate some business buys and then have Alex run them.
There you go. I'll do it.
Yeah.
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 Do you have any other deals you want to talk about?
No, I mean all mine are. I guess the other creative one was the 3 homes on a lot.
That's
So
what
we
I
could
want to
talk
know
about that one.
That's
a
what
little
I
bit.
want to know about. Okay.
What do you want to know about it?
I don't know. 3 homes on a lot.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
So
Why'd you buy it?
it was last year, and I was just wanted to buy real estate, so I started looking at the market, what was out there, what I could do with it, and same thing. Started kind of calling through places that might carry something.
They're clapping.
You're good. It won't pick up the sound. It
You
won't.
got an audience
You're fine.
applauding that
Applaud.
magnificent idea.
But I can't remember how we started on it. Trevor, you helped me out with it.
I don't remember exactly. They wanted like $1 million, and you bought it for like 700.
Yeah, it was a property that had been listed like multiple ways, multiple times, because it was 3 homes on one lot, 1 home on another lot.
Something
and so
like
they
that.
tried to sell them together, then they separated them, and it was kind of
Is that
messy.
the one you sent me a text on?
No, that's a different one.
different one?
Yep. I was trying to do the same thing, though, where it would be structured like that. But yeah, this one was cool because talking to him, the realtor himself owned the property and he kind of flipped it, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was like a contractor / realtor, and he was partially rehabbing it, kind of. Or
Yeah.
something.
And so kind of walked through it with a contractor friend of mine, kind of got numbers on, hey, if we did this, this, and that to make it rentable and more attractive to live in, what would it cost? So then once I got those estimates, then we submitted an offer and asked him to carry the down payment essentially. And so structured it in a way where we financed in some of those construction expenses, and it was cool because there was a lot wrong with the property. And so initially I think we were under contract for like $780 or something like that, and then appraisal came back ridiculously low, and so then we were like, hey, we can't do this unless you adjust the price. And so basically got it $100,000 off, if I remember right.
Something like that. Oh, what we had him do was finance your repairs. So he essentially gave a construction line so
Yeah.
he could go make all these repairs
The
on
seller
the property.
did.
The seller
Yep.
did, yeah.
After closing, create a HELOC.
So yeah, after it all closed, we got into it with, I mean, our out-of-pocket expenses was probably like $10,000 total.
to buy a shitty house that then you had money to.
No, they're nice now. Yeah.
Well, when you bought it, they weren't.
So
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
your payment on
Did you
those? and what
insure
is
them for more than what you bought them for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my man.
what's your payment on those, and what do they rent for?
Payments like $4,800, I think, for all 3, and we rented make like $5,500.
Okay.
So it doesn't cash flow a lot. Part of it is because we have an owner occupant in it, and so their payment is just a percentage of the mortgage. So once they move out or pull their equity and we buy them out or whatever, then the rental, it'll cash flow another couple $100.
So you
Okay.
partnered with someone to they got an owner occupied loan. So you have an agreement to buy them out.
Or they can maintain ownership. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but can you buy them out?
Yeah. No, it has both either option.
Your option.
There's
Their option.
a mutual agreement. It's
Mutual
family,
agreement.
so
Okay.
yeah, it's
So you're not gonna be. You're gonna let them stay in it.
yes. I'm okay if they keep equity. It would be best for them, but
It's a big pie.
it's up to them.
So and you got in this property through someone's owner occupied loan, low down, you added value to it. It's worth more now than what you're paying probably.
Yeah, I mean, if the same appraiser looked at it, might not be worth more, but yeah, it based on rents alone, it would be worth significantly more.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah.
What's your buy box, Alex? What's your favorite deal? Like, what's in your mind of this is
He's like Chad.
this? What kind of
have
If
one.
it falls in his lap,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah, exactly.
you're
Yeah.
looking for just opportunities to land in your lap?
Yeah,
He
probably.
called this one. He
Yeah.
found this one.
I did. I usually, when I get inspiration or want to buy something, I just start running Zillow lists and setting up email reminders.
Are you
Right
gonna
now, I
call
don't.
Fizbos again. You gonna put the Fizbo?
Yeah, why not?
We could do
Probably.
so many of those deals if he just wanted to.
Yeah, if Trevor wouldn't cancel the call, then I probably would have bought 4 more deals by now.
Okay, I got an
Worst
idea, guys.
Advertisement for Vesta.
We've got to we got to create a system for Alex to buy more real estate.
Thank you. Yes, that's all I need. Give me a
The
system.
two of you aren't going to do anything without a system. I can already see where this is going. We got to get some EOS. We got to get some rocks. We got to get some
Yeah.
VAs. We got to figure out a way to like crank out some deals for you.
Yep, I like it.
And we got to talk about it. You got to keep
Yeah.
listening to Deal Junkies, and then you got to write an offer like every month.
That's the piece I think is just offers, and then it's like, oh yeah, this will work out now. And so my buy box, I would say, is I really like the single family home model. Like I know multifamily apartments, that's eventually where I'll end up being, but single family for me, since I'm self-managing, they're really easy to fill, quality of tenants is higher, and I know the model pretty well, so I'm really comfortable with it. Multifamily, I just haven't played around in that space.
All that smaller stuff you're buying is going to be amazing trading stock one day when you evolve into a commercial buyer.
Yeah.
And then every one of those houses is going to turn into a bigger building.
I think you can start using them now as collateral to start getting into other deals more so. Even if you didn't set up HELOCs on them, right? Because now you can come in with a seller who has a deal and they want extra skin in the game, but you have all these extra pieces you can now use within that same transaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like kind of like the storage units you were talking about earlier, something like that.
Yeah, that was a straight across trade that you were looking at too. But I mean, even like, let's say you go buy a deal, the seller doesn't need all the money, and they can potentially be your lender now, and you have all these assets that are lendable that you can't get HELOCs on necessarily, but you have $500,000 sitting there that, like, what am I going to do with this $500,000? I don't want to refi because my first position loan is at a good rate probably on it, but how do I still use this equity? Or like how me and Gabe, we bought a property, for example. We were buying it 0 down, but the lender was like, okay, I don't like that you're buying it 0 down. Let me take a collateral position on some other stuff you own. So they took seconds on other stuff that we had equity in, and you can start using those pieces a little better.
Yeah. And I think that was the proposal we initially had with financing some of the construction. And then he was like, actually, I don't need that. And so I think it's just a note now.
Yeah, and just gave a line of credit.
Yeah. Because I have a HELOC on one of the properties, which is pretty decent. But yeah, there's definitely
it's just a piggy bank. I mean, you're just building up a portfolio that later on is going to serve you well. You just want to make sure you don't turn something cash flowing into something that, wipes you out. But don't go bigger for the sake of going bigger. But like Mike said earlier on, return on equity, when you start to look at what you are cash flowing based on what your equity is there, you can probably work that equity harder. And I think you'll find that as you get into bigger deals, you'll look back and go like, oh, this is really where the money's made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's really cool. You're 31 years old. You already own a multi-million-dollar portfolio, a great business. Like, you've got a bright future ahead of you. So we would just challenge you to do more deals and do bigger deals.
Challenged. You're challenged.
Challenge.
And we will follow up to make sure you're listening.
Yeah.
And you've set up a system to buy more deals.
All right. I guess I'll finally schedule a call with Trevor.
What's his time for his next escrow?
Oh, you want to put a deal into contract? You want to set a goal? Put a deal into contract?
By June 1st.
Okay.
Easy.
Easy. Okay, May 1st. Sorry.
Oh, it's getting...
All right.
Yeah,
whatever you say, Mike. You're the boss.
Yeah.
Only to get it under contract.
Yeah.
And what kind of deal is this? Just any deal?
Any deal.
Any deal.
Any deal by April 1st.
There you go.
Okay.
Any deal he's actually willing to buy.
Alex put it out in the universe. He's going to put a deal under contract by April 1st. He might have to hire a new broker, though, because Trevor's not doing his job.
Maybe I'll hire Dane.
Sabrina, fire Trevor.
I'm not a broker.
Figure it out. Give Alex the service he needs.
Yeah, I'll meet with Sabrina. Yeah.
Trevor's a visionary. He has somebody else reading his emails. You got to call somebody who actually does.
Yes, ChatGPT. ChatGPT probably canceled that appointment. Yeah, that's what it was.
Sorry, we have to cancel. He's working on his emotional intelligence.
Yeah. We're working on EQ today. Can't answer this inbox.
Yep, that's what I got.
All right, guys. Are we going to wrap this one up?
It's a wrap.
All right. It's been fun talking about deals with you today, Alex. Thanks for joining us. Alex Ferry, co-founder of the SRE Meetup in Salem, first Wednesday of every month at the Sassy Onion. It's Salem's largest real estate investor meetup. Thank you, Alex and Trevor, for starting that meeting. We see 75 to 100 people there every month. People are doing deals, finding great resources. Plus, Alex is one of our preferred insurance agents with State Farm. You can reach him at alex@ferryinsurance.us.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Ferryinsurance.us. But so tell them about what you'll do with that. So you'll sit down with someone, look at their portfolio, and you'll advise them on what coverage they actually need, right? Because we have no idea. So you'll tell us.
Yep. So I base it off of square footage of what we need to insure, and then also the liability as far as what's at risk with that asset.
Okay. So you'll just tell us what we need to do.
Yes.
We're deal junkies. We don't care about insurance. We just
we
want
need
to
it.
close
It's a
the
line
deal.
item.
The bank says we have to have it.
Yep.
So we call you and we tell you to put insurance on it.
Yes.
So, guys, if you're out buying deals, you need an insurance agent. If you don't have one, call Alex. And again, thanks for joining us and telling us about your real estate journey. We can't wait to hear an update on when you buy your next deal.
April 1st.
Before April 1st.
Yep.
We'll get an update. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.